G'day guys, welcome to Wurdiboluc this morning. We're trying to find a trout here on the sunrise, and I've got Mark, aka Salty. You guys might have seen him a little bit on Facebook, but yeah, we're standing together, see if we can find a couple of trout for the smoker. And if we can find some, I'll probably make this a catch and cook video. That was a hit. Yep. All right, so probably a little bit hard to see, but we're using the Tassie Devil that I did well on last time I was here. I'm going to start with that, throwing it on the Twin Power and the Zodias, just in the hopes that we might find a early morning fish here. Now we've got some other spoons as well, and we've got some double clutches and a few other hard bodies which we may end up throwing around. So let's make sure we've got plenty of drag on there, because trout have got quite a sinewy and teethy little mouth, and you want to make sure you punch that treble hook in there nice and deeply. Just a slow retrieve, bit of a rod wobble every now and then, flick flick, just to get it darting around a little bit erratically. Hopefully we can find a couple of trout. Yeah. Oh! Yep, hit. Damn. Dropped him. Bugger. Wasn't a very solid hit. Oh, there we go. Yep. Yep. Next cast. We're in. Oh, he's a good fish. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, he's just on the surface there, just in front of me. Come in. Come in, mate. Come on. I think it's a brown. Let's grab me net. Lead him into it. That's a good brown, mate. Oh, yeah. That is a fantastic brown, that. That is a fantastic start to the morning. I'm very happy about that. Good brown trout, and he's going to go in the smoker. Alrighty, so let's get the hooks out of him, and we'll get a closer look. How's that for a brownie, mate? It's a good one. Alright, so we're going to dispatch of him. The spots on him are a lot sort of lighter, and that's a male, because you can see his snout's starting to get elongated and long, so he's getting ready to spawn. So, sorry mate, you're not spawning, you're going in my fish bag. There we go, guys. The good old clown, or as I call it, the bullseye, has done the job there. It's probably my favourite Tassie Devil colour. So, good to see there's some fish around. Let's see if we can get one or two more for the smoker, as that'll make my wife very, very happy. Then we realise, oh, there you go. Get your net. A reddy? A red fin? You just got a red fin. That doesn't look too bad actually for a reddy. Oh, mate. He's all right. That's all right. He's probably, what, high 20s probably?
Yeah, almost be 30, I reckon, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Good feed on him. Well done, mate.
Oh,
hit.
Fuck, that was a great hit.
There you go.
That's a trout.
Whoa, good jump. Well done, mate. There's your brownie. Got your net?
Yep.
Well done, mate. Oh, that's a beautiful fish too. Good job.
That's on a T-Rex.
Nicely done.
I'm looking going, it's got to get a fish. Got to get a fish. These are the ones I got. Remember I got some made for the river?
Yeah.
Replicated minnow.
Yep.
But they've got to work down here.
There we go. Lovely brown trout there. You'll be happy with that, mate. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's the first on a lure anyway.
Yep.
Only the first on a lure.
Well done, mate. We'll throw them in the bag.
I was saying the other way here, I could catch fish in the river, no worries on worms.
Yep.
All day long. And the first time I thought I was going to get this soft plastic thing to go, I reckon at least a dozen trips out.
Yep.
To the point where I was second guessing myself going, what the fuck, you know, am I doing it wrong?
Yep. Yeah, look, I was the same when I first started with soft plastics back in, what, 2010? Yeah. Like my mate was trying to get me to use them. He's like, mate, trust me. He's like, you catch more quality fish than you will with bait. I'm like, all right, I'll give them a go, And I probably did like 5-6 sessions, like 2 to 3 hours each session, nothing. And then I finally caught a fish and I'd realised that I was working them a bit too erratically and a bit too fast. You know, I was using too heavy of a jig head.
See, I'm confident on plastics, but I'm still not overly confident on hard bodies. But I haven't put nowhere near in the amount of time.
Yeah. See, for me, it's kind of depends on, you know, the situation. Like, you know, if I'm fishing saltwater, definitely soft plastics, you know?
Yeah.
But
saying that, there's times I'd go down and fish the waterfront with David and Jesse, and it'd just be solely hard body, and we were fucking braining fish.
Yep.
And I'm talking everything from pinkies to snorks to...
Yep. Like I go to like St Kilda Pier and use like a 75mm double clutch to nail flathead on it, you know?
Yeah, you were killing them down there.
Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, big jump.
Yeah. Might have to go back to the bloody Tassie.
Go for it, mate. Get the Tassie. Oh, he's a good fish too.
Yeah, he's a good fish, mate.
Good battle.
You don't want me to come and nick your line?
Please don't. Don't nick my line.
Half over there. You'll be right, mate.
You nick my line and you can get nicked, mate.
Long walk home, you reckon?
Yep. Another brownie.
Yeah, good size too.
Yeah, he's all right. May not have been as big as me first. Oh, he might be actually.
He's got another hook jaw too, I reckon.
Hey,
He's got a hook jaw.
another male?
Oh no,
No, maybe not.
I thought he did.
Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, yes. Oh, that might be bigger than the first one, actually. How good's that?
This one's bigger.
That is a great size brown trout. Alrighty, let's get him sorted. Happy days. We're going to have a really good smoker load of fish here. So I'm very happy. There we go, guys. One more look at this beautiful brown trout before it goes into the bag. That is going to go excellent on the smoker. My wife's going to be super happy about that. Alrighty. Let's try and get another one. Yeah, that Tassie Devil, guys, is one of my favourite lures. And I think I'd said in a previous video that it's the 7 gram. I actually think it might be the 13.5, to be honest. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it might be the 13.5. But yeah, that one there with those spots there, it's probably my favourite Tassie Devil at the moment. Well, guys, that was an awesome session. We're back at home now. We're in the kitchen. We've got the fillets off the trout, and now I'm going to show you how I like to prepare them with the salt and sugar brine. So check this out. It's cooking with Geordie. It's cooking with Geordie. It's time to smoke some trout. Yeah. All right, guys, so we've knocked the fillets off of the fish. I've already done one of them, but this is the other fish. Now, I do apologise for my sink looking a little bit dirty, as I did clean the fish on the sink. It was clean before I started, but now it's not, so I'll have to clean up after. But once we have taken these fillets off, all we've got to do is grab some paper towel, just pat them dry. And I'll leave the skin on as well, which I feel is a little bit sort of important for the actual process of of smoking. I find it just seems to give it a little bit of protection from the heat and stops it from grilling instead of smoking. So we've pat those down now. And what I've got here is a mixture of brown sugar and salt. And it's at a ratio of about, oh, look, it's not exact, but it's probably about 4 parts brown sugar to 1 part salt. So all we do is just heap it onto the fillets, like so. Don't be shy, put plenty on there. And just sort of smush it about a little bit on there, like so. A little bit lumpy, some of this brown sugar, but that's okay. So we'll get some more on this one here. There we go. They're looking pretty good. So you're going to want to let this sit in the fridge in a container for 24 to 48 hours to let the brine do its trick on these fillets. So here comes the tricky part. Just pick the fillet up with the brine and throw it straight in the container. Now, while it's brining, one thing you'll notice is that there will be some liquid that will fill up into this container. That's perfectly normal, nothing to worry about at all, as that just means that this salt brine is doing its job. So just breaking up some of these lumps here of brown sugar. There we go. So we're going to let that sit. All right, guys, so it is 24 hours of brining. So we're just going to open this up and have a look. Oh yeah, look at that. As I mentioned, there's a lot of juice in there. That's normal. So what we'll do is we'll take them out, we'll pat them dry with some paper towel, and we'll go light up the Weber and get it ready to go. And I'll show you how I like to stack up the coals in my Weber in order to smoke trout. All right, so we've come out to my Weber, and what I've got here is just a coal rack, and I've probably got about 30 heat beads in there, and I've got a few pieces of cherry wood on top. And what we do is we get a fire lighter, throw it in one end and light it up, just one, and it'll light up the coals on just this end. You don't want to light them all, otherwise the fish is going to grill. You just want to light up one end, and what will happen over the sort of 3 to 4 hours of smoke time is the fire and the sort of like the ashes and embers will sort of work their way all the way across this coal rack here. So what we'll do is we'll grab a fire lighter now and we'll light it up. So just your regular fire lighter there, throw it in. Where's my lighter? There it is. It's just a regular cigarette lighter. You can use matches, doesn't matter. And what I'll do generally is I'll throw a couple of coals over the top just to make sure that the fire is actually catching onto something. Just move the wood over a little bit. Spread these coals out a bit more. So we're going to let that go for now. We're going to go pat down those fillets and then we will get them onto the Weber. All right, guys, one other thing I wanted to mention is I've filleted these fish. Now, you can split them, you can fillet them, or you can do them sort of whole, just take off the head and gut them. Now, that largely depends on how you like your smoked trout. Now, if you like it juicy and quite moist, then I'd recommend that you do the fish whole. But my wife likes it quite dry, almost like trout jerky. So because of that, we take the fillets off, or you could split it. Plenty of salt on there, and that's going to dry it out quite nicely during the smoke time. All right, guys, so we've given the charcoal a bit of time to sort of ash over, and we've got the 3 pieces of cherry wood lined up there so that they will burn throughout the whole cook time. So I've put my grill on. Now, this is a cast iron grill, not a wire rack, so you do have to be a little bit careful and not have the fish too close to the fire. You want to keep it over this side. So we've got the fish here now. I'm just going to throw them on the cast iron hot plate. Now you want to keep it at around about sort of anywhere around 100 degrees or so Celsius. You don't want it getting too hot. If it does, what you do is you close the vent down the bottom, and that will then choke down the fire a little bit to help reduce the heat. Now also on the lid, which we'll put on now, we're just going to close these vents a little bit here to keep the smoke in there. And we just monitor the temperature gauge, and we keep the temperature gauge over the fish and not over the coal. So that gives us more of an idea on what the temperature is, where the fish are. So this will slowly come up to 100. come out every sort of half an hour to an hour, keep an eye on the temperature, and then after about sort of 3 hours or so, this will be ready. All right, guys, so we're probably a little bit over the halfway mark now. Now, the temperature did get a little bit high, so I just shut down the top vent and the one underneath as well, just to choke the fire down and bring that temperature back down. So we're going to lift the lid and we're going to have a look. Oh, yeah. You can see that colour there. Beautiful orange colour in it. It's coming along nicely. Now, there's one other thing you can do here. This is optional. However, one thing I like to put on my fillets at about this point is a little bit of Manuka honey. It just adds that little bit of sweetness. Something slightly different with one of the pieces. So to put the Manuka honey on, you just need like having like a basting brush, something like that. All you do, you just squeeze it on there. Don't need a hell of a lot. And just brush it all over the fillet. That'll add a nice bit of sweetness on there as well. Again, you don't have to do it. It's completely optional. But it just adds something a little bit extra on there. Alright, so we're going to cover this back up now. And we're going to let it go for maybe another 45 minutes to an hour or so.
One eternity later.
Alrighty guys, we're at the 3 hour mark and we should be done. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah. We've got beautiful colour on these fillets. They're looking great. Just how my wife likes it. Now, they are probably a little bit more cooked, or smoked I should say, and dry than a lot of people like their dried, or how they like their smoked trout. That's just how my wife happens to like it, and obviously to make my wife happy so I can go fishing more, you got to cook the catch the way she likes it. Well, there we go guys, something a little bit different there with a catch and cook. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Now, if there's any part of the process that I didn't cover that you wanted to know about, please leave us a comment below. If you liked the video, flick us a like and subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. Cheers.